It was the first day of my final semester at the University of Oregon in Eugene, and everything about the art studio felt both familiar and foreign. I stood at the door of Studio B, the same room I had spent hours in the past 2 years. But this time, it was different. I wasn't just a student anymore. I was here for my senior thesis. And at the front of the room stood someone I didn't expect. "Good morning, I'm Professor Samuel Everett," the tall man said with a calm voice, brushing his hand over a smudge of charcoal on the corner of the blackboard. He wore a navy wool blazer over a white turtleneck, the kind of style that whispered, not shouted, experience. "I'll be guiding the senior art cohort this term." He wasn't who I had planned for. I had prepared all summer to work under Professor Langley, but she had taken a sudden sabbatical. So instead, we had him, a visiting artist whose abstract oil series had recently been featured in New York. I chose a seat near the back, not out of shyness, but so I could observe. That was always my method. Watch first, draw later. The first 2 weeks were methodical. Professor Everett didn't speak much during critiques. He watched. He studied each student's brushwork, the stories they tried to force onto the canvas, and then offered a simple question. "Why this?" Or, "What were you afraid of showing?" I hadn't submitted anything serious until week 3. That's when I brought in a portrait I had started last year, a half-finished oil of a girl standing at the edge of a lake. I didn't even know what it meant anymore. He stared at it for a long time after class while I packed my brushes. "Anna, do you mind if I ask what this piece was meant to be?" he asked. I hesitated. "It was part of something I started last spring. I got stuck." He didn't say anything right away. Then, "You weren't stuck. You got scared. This has the beginning of something honest." I blinked. "Honest?" He pointed to the brushstrokes on the lake's edge. "There's hesitation here, but not in the technique, in the emotion. You were trying to tell something about yourself, but you stopped." I didn't know how to respond. He didn't pressure me. Just added, "Let's work on pushing that fear aside. For the thesis, I want you to finish this." That moment was the beginning. Over the next few weeks, my routine changed. I started staying late at the studio, arriving early on Saturdays, reworking old sketches, adding new layers of meaning. Professor Everett rarely gave direct instructions. He asked questions instead. "What does the girl at the lake want? Why the blues and not greens? Are you painting what you think is beautiful or what you think others want to see?" I found myself staring at blank canvases for hours, letting his questions guide me. By mid-semester, I had a series, 4 large-scale paintings, each a variation of the girl in different landscapes: forest, mountain, city street, and desert. In each one, she seemed to grow older, more certain, more present. He stood in front of them one afternoon, hands behind his back. "She's finding herself," he said. I nodded. "She's me. At least, part of me," he smiled. "It takes a lot of courage to say that." I didn't expect praise, not from him. But in that moment, it meant more than any grade or exhibition. The final month of the semester was a blur of varnish, framing, and curating our thesis show. My work was chosen for the entrance wall. It felt surreal watching visitors walk in and stop in front of my series, whispering, pointing, taking photos. My parents flew in from Santa Fe. My mother cried. And then, just before the gallery closed for the night, Professor Everett approached me one last time. "You didn't just finish a painting, Anna, you told a story." I swallowed, unsure what to say. He added, "I hope you keep telling them." That was over a year ago. Now, I have a small studio in Portland. I teach 2 nights a week and spend the rest of my time painting. Sometimes I catch myself standing at the window, remembering those long, quiet evenings in Studio B. The sound of turpentine, the scent of oil, the scratch of canvas. Professor Everett moved on to another residency, but he wrote me once. A postcard from Florence, Italy. It said simply, "You were right to be honest," and that's what I keep chasing. Not perfection, not approval, but truth. In color, in shadow, in silence. Because once I stopped being afraid of the canvas, I discovered who I really was.